So what are the best portable synthesizers out there? Well, I don't really have the answer to it, but here are my top 3 picks for best portable synthesizer. So welcome to Bo Beats, my name is Bo and here's a little sip of the coffee. So this list of mine is in no particular order, but here comes number 1. The small pocket operators from Teenage Engineering is my number 1 pick, and chances are that you own one or you've seen them or heard them, and for what you are paying for them, about like 50-60 euros, you get a lot of power in a small form factor, and it's super portable, runs some batteries, and you can just bring them everywhere. So which pocket operator should you choose? Well, here's the fun thing. Any one of them are good depending on what kind of sound you're after and what you want. But my favorites are the PO20 and the PO32. Now, while the PO32 would be like my go-to recommendation for pretty much everyone, because it's a drum machine synthesizer that you can actually change out the sounds on with a software. If you purchase the, I think it's called the Microfreak software, if you get that, you can exchange all 16 sounds. But my personal favorite is the PO20. It has this lo-fi 8-bit kind of Nintendo-ish sounds. And what I like about the pocket operators in general, but the PO20 in specific, is that you can really make a little track on it, even though it's super limited. You know, it still has these about 16 sounds, you can use them in very clever ways, and you can also use the effects, because most of them have some kind of effect section, and that can really change up the sound. So I usually like bring them with me on travel, on vacation, and I just sit in the car and I noodle on them and make a beat and so on, and just when you have spare time. And then I often sample that into my bigger rig behind me, and I've used them in several tracks. I've used them to sample the drums and use the drums, for example, to build loops. And I think overall what you get for the money is really good. Another great thing about the pocket operators is that if you hook them up together, you can easily do some live jamming with just the pocket operators. And I know this is a little bit cheesy, but if you bring these to a party and you hook them up to a bigger system and you start jamming away, people will be like, "What are you making? Are you making music from calculators?" And as always, I'm very interested to hear what are your top 3 picks for portable synthesizers. So just drop a comment down below and I'll read them. And here is a demo I made on the PO20. So let's move on to number 2 on my list. Number 2 on my list is probably not a surprise to anybody who follows my channel regularly. I have made over 80 or 90 videos on this piece of equipment, and you're probably so tired of hearing about it, but here is the Novation circuit. So why is it that the circuit is such a great portable synthesizer? Well, I think it comes down to a couple of things. Firstly, you have 2 synthesizers on it that have 6 polyphony each. You have a delay section, you have a reverb section, and you have 4 sample channels on it that you can load with your custom samples. Now, of course, the circuit is limited in terms of if you can make a full song on it. There's no recording option on it, so you have to have an external recorder if you want to record what you're doing, if you want to upload it, for example, to SoundCloud or something. But it does feature a sessions mode where you can save a bunch of sessions that you can also use to create a larger song. So by no means is it too limited. I mean, it's much more advanced than something like a pocket operator, but it's still easy enough to just pull out and start noodling around on it. And I think that's the point. And I do think that when you compare the circuit to the Electribe, it comes down to the fact that the circuit has such a nice hands-on, super tactile workflow that really fits the small form factor. There's no menu diving, there's no fiddling around with settings, you know, everything is very hands-on, immediate. And it also makes it really good for live performances. I actually have 2 of them. I've started working on like a live set on the 2 circuits I use. And just the way you can use 2 circuits, even though it's not really like there's no special native support for using 2 circuits, it's still super easy to use them because of the hands-on tactile workflow. You're never getting stuck in something because everything's so hands-on. So I think that's brilliant for a portable small synthesizer that you just bring out. I also think it's important to stress that the circuit is around 300 euros perhaps, or even less nowadays, and you get 2 synthesizers with 6 polyphony, meaning that you can play up to 6 notes per synthesizer. And it's not a limited synthesizer, it's actually a quite advanced synthesizer. If you get into the editor, of course you need a computer to do that, but if you get into the editor, it's a really advanced synthesizer within the little small form factor of the circuit and the small price tag. So I think that's very cool. And of course, here's a little circuit demo for you guys. Now, number 3 on my list might create some tension down in the comment section between old school, new school kind of people. You know, it's my personal list, it's stuff that I own and use. But number 3 is this one. The iPad, or even an iPhone or equivalent Android device. And I know that there's this hardware trend where you are supposed to get only pure synthesizers, only hardware. Even something like the circuit might seem a little unpure because you don't have all those standard controls and whatnot. But bear with me here. Bear with me? Stay with me here. I have all these hardware synthesizers that you see around me here. I still think that something like an iPad is so much value for your money. You pay around, say, something between 300 euros to up to, I guess, over 1,000 euros depending on what model you want, and you get so much synthesizer power in a small portable form factor. And the latency isn't that bad on the unit itself, and you can always use an external sound card. I use the audio fuse from Arturia with my iPad. This is the old one. You can see this is like dirty, really worn down iPad that my daughter uses. It's an iPad 2 and it still works. And even on this old iPad I run Cubasis, I run Thumb Jam. Okay, it's a little bit older app, it sounds really good, and I just make it work on it. And I think for the money you're investing into a piece of hardware, you're getting a lot back. And if you want to know more about iPad music making, you should check out Jacob Hack and Hack Attack. This was my top 3 portable synthesizer list. But wait, I do have a little guest appearance here. I do think it's worth mentioning a synthesizer that I do not own, but I've tried and I've seen so much about on YouTube. And I think it looks like, and I know it's a really good piece of kit. And this honorable mention is, of course, the OP1 from Teenage Engineering. This small synthesizer is brilliant. Sampling capability, it has synthesis, it has a lot of different engines in it, but it's truly a portable all-in-one solution. Even though it's a little bit quirky to some people, even though it's limited, and yeah, it does cost a lot, but I do think it's held up over the years as one of the best portable synthesizer solutions out there, and therefore I want to mention it. And my friend Accurate from Accurate Beats, he does some really cool stuff on it as well, so you should check him out. I'll leave a link down in the description as well to his channel. So what are your top 3 picks for portable battery powered synthesizers? And don't say like a Moog Sub 37 with a car battery. You know, we're talking portable by design, not by some funny DIY solution. And now of course I'll get 100 comments of Eurorack synthesizer with 20 car batteries. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see more like it, please hit the like button, consider subscribing, and if you want to support me further, you can always head over to patreon.com/bowbeats. All links are in the description. So I hope to see you in the next video, and thank you so much.